We're live. I don't know how much of the evil laugh y'all got or when it came in, but it says I'm live, so I don't know what the delay is. But we're live is all that matters, baby. And what's up, people? We got a oh man, do we got a big one today? Do we got a big one today? I'm gonna quote Larry Rackley from the chat. It says, "Let's go. DC20 is the way." Hello from Oklahoma. What's up, dude? That's awesome. I'm gonna say what's up to everybody. I'm gonna let y'all know the rundown of the stream is. Wow, I was doing the rundown of the stream. That's such a weird moment I just had. I was gonna say what the rundown was, but I was in the middle of doing the rundown, and I said, "Stop! Wait, let me do the rundown first." As I'm doing the. Anyway, I'm gonna say what's up to everybody. We got a new updated Kickstarter action tracker prototype I want y'all to vote on for the version 2. This was version 1. We'll talk about that in a second, and you guys are going to vote on what it should look like. Ooh, crazy stuff. And then then we're going to do the armor reveal. We're going to go right into the armor reveal. It's a big one. You guys here on the live stream or watching this early, you're going to see it a month or so early. I have a bunch of videos laid out for the next couple of videos, and this is going to be about a month early, and then I'll let y'all know when this is going to drop, and it's going to be soon. I'll tell y'all that. Then what else? The HP update, which I think is a great quality of life upgrade for health, great quality of life upgrade for might. Those two are connected, obviously. And I'm going to throw out a crazy idea. I'm going to throw out a crazy idea and see what y'all think. So if y'all are in this part of this live stream, y'all are helping shape, mold, and give feedback to the direction of things as they go. And I've been doing my damnedest to try and get feedback from the community and help guide and push this game into the heights of which it has become. And I'm also going to start the stream off with a quote from Will from D&D Shorts. But I want to say what's up to everybody. Ace, Aka, Almarie, Crockaday, Carrots, Damien, Dathan? Dathan, Dennis, Dr. Tiefling, Drake DePrick, Elk Warrior, Irvin, Evan Basnaw, Evan Bosco, Gordon, Hamid, Ivan Green Gaming, Ironside, Ivar, Jeff Jones, Jester Bravo, Knucklebone of Fickle Fortune, I love that name, Lanthorn, look it's Baz, Luna, that's my dog's name, Luna G, Malzor, Matthew Heyman, let's tell Matthew Heyman, Mini Warlord, Moon Tigers, Mortal Kynan. Mortal Lazard, he definitely knows what the armor system is. He's been in the discussions and chit chats of all this craziness that's been overhauling and all that kind of stuff. Same with Evan, same with Furious. Oh, Furious isn't here. Bugs here, Rakdos Gaming, me and Rakdos. Rakdos is one of the winners. Last week we did the patron giveaway patron giveaway one shot, and it was wild, and props and shout out to Rakdos. Rakdos knows him some DC20. I'm not gonna lie, he had an impressive knowledge base of the game, and it made me tear up once from him how well he knew the game. I was like, damn, this is crazy. A rules lawyer for DC20, and I mean that in a respectful way as far as rules lawyer goes. Philip Fowler, Ominous Threat, what's up? Nightbot's here, shocker. Neat Zebra. I love that name. Sir Dagladad. I'm just going to say that's what it was. That's awesome. Cosmic Parade, Wheeler 777. I saw what you said about your comment, and I feel you. And then there's Wolves. Let's go, baby. Shout out to Wolves. He's here. And if we can get through all of this in time, then yeah, we're gonna do some Q&A stuff as well. So yeah. Oh, Charlie, what's up, Charlie? First time here. Well, happy to be here. Let's go. Here we go. What else do we got? First of all, I'm gonna start off the stream. Also, this stream is gonna be a little bit less of a Q&A, but if you do want to super chat, I will ask those questions, of course. Anything that supports the stream, I gotta tip my hat respects to. Y'all tip me, I tip my hat. Does that connect? I don't know. It goes to the goals. At the end of every live stream, I do a giveaway of DC20's Alpha and maybe some more things, depending if you already have the Alpha. Add different checkpoints along the giveaway goals. We do even more giveaways, and if you every super chat, you become the boss. That's all it is. Let's go. So, starting things off, this is a quote from Will from D&D Shorts. I'm preparing the Kickstarter landing page because the Kickstarter is 2.5 months away. How wild is that? Hydration check, Malzor, thank you. Hydration check passed. And I'm reaching out to a bunch of content creators who have played DC20, which at this point is a lot of them. And I was like, hey, if you guys have a second to just type me out something, all of them typed me something. And Will from D&D Shorts went some wild with this one. He's like, he gave me a normal one of like a genuine recommendation of like, hey, like, no, this is like a really good game. Like, I'm serious. In fact, let me see where his normal recommendation was. It's everything I want in a tabletop role-playing game. It trims all the stuff. It trims all the stuff that holds back D&D and other legacy systems and fills in a new space with an inspiring and transformative design. Damn, it's so well said. Like, seriously, that was like crazy to see someone like Will say that. And in his most recent video where he broke down Daggerheart, which is honestly a great 10 out of 10 video. I really all of my concerns about Daggerheart and things I had read and researched and kind of took notes on, he kind of confirmed some of those. Ooh, so I was like, okay. And then at the end of the video, at around 13 minutes, he, out of nowhere, I did not know this was coming. He's like, I don't think that Daggerheart is a evolution or a step up in tabletop roleplay games, like that I think DC20 is truly the next level of tabletop roleplay games. I was like, wow. So without further ado, here is Will from D&D Shorts true recommendation. You will see this on the Kickstarter landing page as a quote from Will. I'm going to change my voice just a little bit to be almost like the guy from the Old Spice commercials. I'm going to talk a little bit like this. I played DC20 once. It gave me the power to walk through walls and see through time. Women weep joyful tears when I walk past. Grizzled men lay palm leaves at my feet. Animals understand my words and do my bidding. Am I God? No, I merely play DC20. I really wanted to have a solid stoic non-smile at the end, but I couldn't keep saying it without smiling. So yeah, there's a quote straight from the man Will himself. So it was quite beautiful. And then we got super chats. Let me see. Scatterbug non-technical difficulties fee. Yes, that's right. No technical difficulties. We started on time, and the little guy went down on time. Shout out to the Dungeon Baby. Let's go. Matthew Heyman missed several streams. Appreciate you, Coach. I appreciate you, Matthew. Matthew, you've came to all my channels live streams. You rock, bro. Bob Vecna, another guy from the giveaway. Let's go, Bob. With a wildly wonderful wizard that he played. Anyway, have you I send a message every video post. PH Arbex is trying to get a hold of Pointy Hat. I have not talked with Pointy Hat yet. Pointy Hat also does not have an ad spot available at the time during the Kickstarter, so that's not going to work out for him. But there's a lot of content creators that you'll be seeing making ad spots for DC20 in their videos, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be a wild month. Anyway, so that's one thing out of the way, and now we're going to shift over to the live stream topics at hand. We're going to call this new defense concept. Okay, so I'm going to switch it over here. Here we go. So this is there's the quote from Will. it's on the little screen here now. Y'all can see it for yourselves. Anyway, here is the first one, action point tracker. Boom. This is the version 2 of the action point tracker. If you have not seen it yet, let me get you a nice little close up here. Bang. Right. Let me see. Get you a little close up. Here we go. Oh, it's tracking on my face. There we go. It's a little bit blocked by the light, but you can see the idea of what this thing looks like. It is actually very satisfying. It's very satisfying to click into position, right? Oh man, right? And you can track it with one hand right here. You can get a little bit of this, that. All right, for one action, I'm going to do this, and for another action, so you can literally have it like this. So I'm going to take an action to move forward. I'm going to take an attack. I'm going to add I'm going to do the prone maneuver. You know what? All right, let's go. How sick was that? Oh. So this is version 1, right? Version 2 is on your screen right now, but as you can tell, there's a little bit of different fonts. It is wood. Very nice wood. It's got engraving in it, all that good stuff. As you can see, this is the new DC20 logo that we'll be showcasing next live stream. Stay tuned for that one. The action tracker is going to be centralized. There's some things that are happening on the bottom, but that's not like up for a vote. That's just all semantics. Really, it's the numbers. It's the numbers 1, 1, 1, 1, and 1. This, ignore the free action. That's the one. That's the same one as this one. Don't ignore that. The same one as this one. Anyway, clickety click. I'm telling you, it's gonna be legit. Anyway, so this is these are the options here, y'all. Right? So these are the options. Option 1, option 1, option 1, and option 1. I'm just kidding. Literally, it's gonna be from left to right. Option 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is not an option. This is the same font as the option 1. Right? So I'm gonna do a voting poll right now. As y'all can see, I'm gonna do a voting poll. Which one? Get it? So I'm making a pun in the middle of that thing. So option 1, option 2, option 3, or option 4. Okay. So yeah, the voting, if y'all type in the numbers, is not going to count. Here's my thoughts before I start the poll out. Right. Here's my thoughts. Okay. Just to give y'all some background and share. I've put a lot of time into this, as have a lot of fonts and. So option 1, this is the channel font of this is the channel font. It's called Absolute Empire. This is the channel font that has been used for the channel since its creation. It's also the font of the DC20, although the DC20 in this specifically has been kind of adjusted and stuff. As with this, all of these fonts would be kind of like tweaked and refined and stuff and kind of customized. But option 1 is the channel font of the game, just in general, right? So there's a little bit of symmetry there. I do like that. I think the base of the one could be a little bit wider and some things. So either way, what you're voting on is not like, you're voting on these with some tweaks and changes to kind of really make it look good. So for any of the options you choose, is going to be refined and polished off, like I'm saying. Then option 2 is my second favorite, right? Option 1 obviously is my favorite because it is, and I mean, it's the channel font, right? I also do like how the one in option 1 is a bit more straight, and it's almost like a tally mark, right? So it's almost like it's more so like it's a bit more straight instead of like chin, like the the old school looking one. So I don't know. That's why it makes me lean towards 1 also. This one I think is the cleanest looking one, and it's like truly a 1. It's a little bit too high. I probably would slant it a bit more. This font is clean and nice, and it is more standard type font. It's not as like over the top or extra, whatever you want to call it. Option 3, honestly, option 3 is my least favorite. I genuinely thought about taking it out. It's just really like thick, and this is strange, and it's also slanted, and then the P is almost smaller than the rest of these. So I don't know about this one. I almost chopped it, but it would be weird if I chopped the picture out of it. And then this is more similar to, well, actually, no, it's not. I don't like this font here. The 1 is fine, and it's like a smaller version of this. This is like a very classic-y 1. But anyway, there is the voting poll starting now. What do y'all think? Vote. Cast your votes. I think with some super chats slipped through the cracks here. Hold up. What do we got? Oh, Liam, how many of those can we buy with the Kickstarter? I would love to have one for my whole table. Yeah, that's honestly what I'm picturing happening, right? I'm going to have, I'm working on next week, actually. Wow, everything's happening so fast. I'm working on the bundles of like what the different tiers are for the Kickstarter. There's obviously going to be a digital only tier. There's obviously going to be like a baseline package tier of just the hardcover copy and just the PDF and all of that together, right? That's going to be a package for sure. The one right above that is going to have some of the like more bells and whistles type of things going on. I got to do some crunching of things on that, because also it has to do with weight. These things aren't that light, but there's like weight thresholds to where if I do like a book and this, maybe it doesn't weigh enough to trigger some sort of crazy whatevers or not, and I can like actually price them cheaper, because I'm trying to price these as cheap as I can. But I mean, this is engraving, which a lot of this is by hand, so it's not going to be. Yeah, you get the idea. There was an option to do plastic, but it's just no. I want these to be quality, baby. So yeah, what are we thinking? We got, okay, so the votes are in, over 100 votes. Option 1, Option one. Yeah. All right. Option one. Yeah, you know, I definitely see why people kind of liked a little bit of option 4 as well. Because option 4 honestly is really similar to this. You know, it is really similar to that. So I honestly might do a little bit, take some inspiration from all of these, right? So we're gonna go with number 1, but I'm gonna look to 2 and 4, take some inspiration, and kind of polish some of these off as far as the font and stuff goes to kind of make it a little, you know what I'm saying? We don't need as many of these kind of like fancy bits. So anyway, especially when you're engraving so small. So there you go, boom. But also to answer Liam's question, you will be able to do these as add-ons. So if you do have like the package for you of like, cool, I want the book and one of these, got it. And then you want to be like, oh, I have extra players, I want to buy a bundle of 5. We might do something like that, like a bundle of 5 of these, which would probably account for all players, you know, and then you could also add on ones by time to make sure you have everybody for players. I think that's awesome for one person to kind of step up and get that for everybody. I love it. Rakdos, currently running my 5th one-shot. Loving the Beastborn. What are your thoughts on jump being a minor action? You are still spending AP for movement, so I think it's balanced. Can't wait for 0.7. Honestly, Rakdos, I think jump as an action, I am already have it down. I'm gonna actually make sure Rakdos is, I'm adding in this just for you. Buff to jump action. I have a this is kind of weird to say. I have a list of rule tweaks to the game to make sure that I have those rule tweaks in the game. Like I have a true list of like so much. It's just like all the different things I want to look at and make sure to, you know, do passes over. And then I have a list to make sure that this thing's on that list. So just to make sure nothing slips through the cracks. But yeah, so overall, I don't want the minor action to be used like that because another thing with the minor action, and this is a little bit of game design type stuff. But one thing I don't want to do with the minor action is turn it into a bonus action. Whoo, the slippery slope of a bonus action. And if you guys don't know this, used to be back in the day, bonus actions were rare and like very few things used a bonus action. And as things developed over time, now there's so many different things that use a bonus action. It turns into this thing where you gotta have it to play optimally and all this crap. If not watched over carefully, like I promise you that I will, the DC20's minor action could turn into the same. DC20's minor action could potentially turn into the stupid bonus action where you're like, okay, I gotta have something that uses my minor action. And if we had jump, then now jump becomes this thing that's like, oh, I'm gonna jump. And that's like, it's not the, okay, whoa. Time out. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I would rather buff the jump action to talk about that. So there's that. Cool. Cool. Bonus action became minor action. Exactly. Yeah. And then cool. 4 looks like the cleanest one from a distance. Yeah. You know what? Yeah. I can see that too from a distance. Yeah. Especially I can probably clean up a little bit at the top of the one. Oh, you can't even see this yet. All right. So without further ado, people, I think it's time for the armor update. Oh man, this is crazy. So real quick to get everyone on the same page, this is the armor update, y'all. It's the armor DC20 armor rework. Okay. So how this is gonna go, Wheeler, whoa. Wheeler with a $30 super chat. Hold up, let me talk to Wheeler for a second. Appreciate you, Wheeler. Your bard features are all support based. Will there be a martial bard subclass similar to the College of Swords? Right. So there's going to be subclasses is the big thing on the docket. A lot of work's already been done for subclasses, creating a lot of subclasses. There's probably 20 or so subclasses floating around. But I have a very specific design flow and process and to go through. And I personally myself have not created any subclasses. That might sound weird or strange, and maybe that's even a hot take, but I have created foundations and mechanics for dozens and 30 plus subclasses, concepts and other things like that. But I purposely stopped myself from creating a subclass because now I'm in a box and I haven't defined the box yet, right? So as soon as that box is defined, all the pieces, imagine about 30 toys that are like made at 60%. They're like that has an arm, a leg, and a head, and it's just missing a few. You know what I'm saying? So I want to wait until I get the framework set up for subclasses, and then things fall into place. Other people that have made subclasses that are on the team are going to throw those ideas. We'll put them through the system and see what they have to chop off and what has to be changed and what has to, and then it'll all start really falling into place. I want to make sure to do subclasses right, because it is honestly the last piece of DC20 that is not like set yet, you know what I mean? And DC20 has such a strong multi-classing system as far as talents. That's a big thing, right? It's a really big thing, right? So Bard's College of Swords Bard, if all you have to do to be a College of Swords Bard is be a Bard at level 1, and then at level 2, you get all the Bard stuff at level 2, and you have a talent. And all you have to do is pick any martial, and you're a College of Swords Bard. You know what I'm saying? That's all you have to do is pick any martial class, and now you're a College of Swords Bard. And the other benefit of that, because some people are like, oh, that's a cop-out. I want to be a College of Swords Bard. You know what I'm saying? So the caveat to that is you could be a fighter Swords Bard, a rogue Swords Bard, a ranger Swords Bard, a barbarian Swords Bard, a barbarian, right? You get the little martial kit, and you have the flavor of that type of thing. So, pick monk, fist bard, right? Oh dear. Don't pick bard. Anyway, wow. So that's funny. Anyway, that's the thing that's on the table right now. Is should we make a College of Swords Bard if the DC20 framework already exists for that in the first place? Honestly, I'm going to do another poll. We have 153 people here right now. I'm going to do another poll. College, do we need a College of Swords Bard? Bard subclass? The answers are going to be yes or no, right? Now, before you answer this, please understand what your answer is. This is going to apply in general to other classes as well, right? So what I'm saying is a bard is a bard. It has a bard mechanics, all that kind of stuff. And then a swords bard is a bard that's good with a sword. All you have to do that at level 2 is spend that talent on any martial. And you get to customizingly pick what kind of martial you want and what feature of those martials you want. You have so many options to become a swords bard. So if that's true in DC20, then at level 3, do you need to have a College of Swords Bard subclass? Is that needed? You know what I'm saying? Or should we go in other directions first? You know what I'm saying? The same thing is true for an Eldritch Knight, right? A general magic wielding Eldritch Knight. All you have to do to be an Eldritch Knight is pick fighter, and then steal the sigils from the wizard. Done. And now you are an Eldritch Knight. So do we need an Eldritch Knight subclass for the Eldritch Knight? So this question is asking about College of Swords Bard, but I want to get a little pulse check on you guys of, do you think that DC20 needs subclasses like that already could be expressed and exist through the multi-classing system that's already really nice and clean? There's my question. Okay. The only other thing I'm going to add to this is some people, if they wanted to play a College of Swords Bard, some people might want to spend that talent on something else. This is the caveat that where I could see why this is the argument for why there should be a College of Swords Bard, even though you could accomplish this with that talent, is if there was a College of Swords Bard subclass, that would free up your talent to be able to take that level 2 talent and spend it on something else. You could spend it on another spellcaster. You could spend it on another martial, and then also get your College of Swords Bard and be, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to throw it down yes or no. There's the poll. And then we're doing the armor. Then we're doing the armor rework. What's up, DJ One Night? DJ One DJ One. I really want to see what y'all think. I really want to see what y'all think here. No. Yeah. I see it. Wheeler, I appreciate you throwing this out there because I really want to see that. So yeah, that's at 80%. 80%. That's and I'm not surprised. Because if we do that, it could open up the design space. And what I would say though, for the people that are worried, is one of two things. One, if you are worried about like, oh, I want to be able to spend my like help dice and do more combat focused things, that would be the subclass. It wouldn't be I wield a sword class fantasy. You can accomplish that with the talents. It would be I'm more offensively based, or I'm more defensively based, or I'm more, you know what I'm saying? The bard could go in different directions, and then you could still be a College of Swords bard, but your subclass would take your bardness in a different direction, and the talents you pick would take your fighting in a different direction. So anyway, there's that. Over 113 votes. Yep, 77%. Cool. I'm interested. That was really was interested to see that. Really interested to see that. So yeah, spell out for future post Kickstarter. Yeah. So, and another thing is if, and this is another thing I think would be maybe put everyone's minds at rest, is this is a plan for me as well, is I want the core foundation of the core rule book. The core rule book probably won't have a swords bard, because that's already taken care of through the multi-classing system. But what I do see 100%, I don't want to say 100%. That's not smart to say. But what I do see as something that could possibly happen is having an expansion, you know, like a Tasha's Cauldron of Everything type book, where there's more subclasses added to the game that do exactly hit on that. That could be a direction and something that happens, right? If we wanted to have a, you know, maybe the expansion that releases the Spellblade class also has a College of Swords Bard and Eldritch Knight, and it's this whole like Spellblade expansion. That would be wild, you know what I'm saying? But that's the kind of cool stuff that we can do with the future of DC20. So heck yeah. Wheeler with another super chat. That's what I was concerned about, using the Bard feature for something other than support. What? Using the Bard features for something other than support. That's what I was concerned about. Using the Bard features for something other than support. Wheeler, talk to me again. I'm about to go into the armor rework, so message me on Discord or something after this if it doesn't come through. But I don't know what you. Does that alleviate your concerns, or what are you wanting is what I'm interested to see where your head's at on this whole bard situation. Did you want it or not want it? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I'm trying to feel out here. Liam, I think yes, so we can get mana, stamina, spells, and maneuvers without multi-classing. Yeah, that's the one thing in that side of the camp, is to have these things so you can stay bard the whole time. You know, you can spend your talents on other things, right? So I can see that too. Christopher Jackson, first time super chat, says paying the late fee. He says he's paying the late fee. So he was late at paying the late fee. Wow, that is a new one. That's a new one. I'm not gonna lie. That's a new one. And another late fee from Ted Karamitis. Also, I have the warm and fuzzies when D&D shorts said DC20 next to Evolution of D&D, and Daggerheart was a lateral move. I know, right? That was nuts. Like, I imagine, like, you know, like a little swing, and then a bang, and then, hey, check out DC20. I was like, oh, wow. But it was honestly, it was such a good video. Y'all check out D&D shorts newest video, for real. It was so well done, and trust me, if you don't realize this, like the content creator in me, that's a very, very hard video to make. It's so time intensive. So many hours went into that to make that video, which is far harder to do than sitting in a chair and talking at the camera. He had to do so much for that video. Dear God, right? So yeah, that was huge, and wildly unexpected for him to throw that out there too. So anyway, can also take the martial expansion talent if you want a no class version. Very true, Johto. 100% Johto. All right. Garrett says, what's up with the armor? All right. Let's rock and roll, Christopher. All right, so here's what's going down. I am going to throw down the armor rework for the DC20 armor rework. This is going to be a video at some point as well. You guys are just seeing this way early, so I'm going to give y'all the full big picture, and then I'm going to look at the chat. And then I'm going to look at the chat afterwards, okay? I want to make sure... wait. DC20 is initiative work. Okay, yeah. So I am going to fully focus on the armor rework. Oh my God, Luna G. Right as I'm saying, I'm focusing. Luna G with with a super chat. Spellblade fee. Yeah, I got you. The Spellblade is something I'm very excited to work on, especially after the Warlock was shifted in a different direction. Super excited for that one. At work right now, so I have to watch the rest later tonight, but still popping in with a late fee. I love doing what you're doing, DC20 so far. Gabriel Dixon is at work, swings by to super chat. God, you guys are awesome. God dang it, you guys are awesome. Why? How did I get? Oh man. Hit me again, y'all. Hit me again. Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank y'all for real. Thank y'all so much. Oh my God. It is crazy too. Oh, so armor. Okay. Yeah. Okay. See, thank you, Luna, for focusing me back up here. All right, so I'm gonna give you the whole spiel. I'm gonna minimize chat for just a second here. Okay, I'm gonna give you all the whole spiel, and then we'll get right into it. So let me pull this up here. It has to be. Oh no, it's all just gonna be here. So I'm gonna put that all right there. So it'll all be. Is that the same thing? That's the same thing. Okay, so it's all gonna be one big thing, and here we go. Let me get my water. Wait, health and armor would be the category. So DC20 health and armor. DC20 health and armor. Taking damage. That's the theme, right? Armor and health is how you take damage. Yeah, upgrade. Here we go. All right, here we go. More water. DC20 health and armor rework. This is how you take damage, how you deal damage to enemies, how you take damage as player characters. Huge update, and I'm super excited about it. And I don't think I've ever seen an armor system that feels more clean, compact, together, balanced, all these things. So much has gone into this rework of the system, and it's been in the works for a while, for the last couple of editions. Other things have gone out, like attribute updates and other things that I've released in other videos. It's now time for this one, and here we go. This is actually going to be part of the 0.6.1, a little bit of update before the 0.7 comes out. And without further ado, let's just get right into it. So DC20 armor rework. The big thing you need to know about armor in DC20, first of all, but I shouldn't have even shown you this thing yet, is armor is you either have light armor or heavy armor. And that's as simple as that. There's not a lot of things in DC20 where you have the crunch of, okay, I have plate mail, chain mail, scale mail, half plate, padded armor, light, right? I never liked the concept of in D&D where someone could go grab a piece of armor, like full plate armor, put it on, and then you just have that AC. No matter what level you are, no matter how skilled you are, you just have that AC. Gosh, I really don't like that. So in general, to get you up to date with how this works, I'll even add this right here, is armor's formula. For armor, you have a base of 8. So your armor, your physical defense is what it's called. Your physical defense equals 8 as a base, plus your combat mastery. Your combat mastery is half your level. That adds a scaling component into your armor. So as you level up, you get more defense, and this applies to all types of defense: mental defense, physical defense. You get the idea. And then you add your agility, right? That is a huge piece of the puzzle. Obviously, agility represents how well you can kind of move and position yourself, whether it's moving and positioning yourself for a hit within your heavy armor or moving and trying to dodge and avoid attacks. Agility, right? Moving in combat to protect yourself. And then we got plus your armor bonus, right? That is your formula. So you have the baseline, you have the scaling component, you have the attribute, in this case agility component, and you have the armor, how good of armor do you have on component. There you go. Now, new big change here is both light and heavy armor are now +1. In the original version of DC20, it was light armor was a +1 and heavy armor was +3. And that's really not what I'm trying to get across here with heavy armor. I do think heavy armor is better, and I do think heavy armor should be better, but not this much better. And I don't think it needs to be better by having a bigger number of physical defense, because I think physical defense, the defense category, is how well you avoid being hit and stuff, right? So light armor and heavy armor avoiding hits, I think that could still be a light armor thing. So I don't think the heavy armor needs the shine in a big plus to physical defense. So if you have armor on, if you're wearing armor, it is a +1 bonus. No matter if it's light armor, heavy armor, you get the idea. It's all +1. And the armor bonus depends only on the quality of the armor. This is mundane armor, not magical armor. Magical armor will follow similar rules and stuff. They'll just have magical properties added onto it. But you have novice, adept, and expert. Done, right? You're gonna start the game off in novice, and cool. And around level 5 or so, you'll hit +2, and around level 10 or so, +3. And we'll talk about later. And there's probably gonna be at least one more notch to armor, and it'd be a +4, adding in the whole high ends of the game. You get the idea. So there's the armor bonus, and it's just based on the quality. Simple as that. And then there's armor types, and then we're gonna get to this table, which is where all the cool stuff comes in. So there's 2 types of armor: light armor and heavy armor. This is once again semantic and verbal as far as what does it look like? What kind of armor are you wearing? All classes in the game can wear light armor. This is a robes wizards that are thick and padded and ready for adventure. This is an Assassin's Creed style hooded and like vambraces and all these things with daggers slid inside of them. That's your light armor. Done. Why does it have to? Oh no, it is chain scale, this, that, other padded chain shirt, and whatever the heck it is, right? Who can even remember it, right? So you have light armor and heavy armor, and this formula is the same for both, but here's the differences between them. Heavy armor has a might requirement of 1, right? You have to have at least 1 might to be able to wear it. That already in itself is a little bit of a requirement, which is not too hard to hit on purpose, but it also comes with one more thing. This is the big thing. The armor has 1 physical damage reduction. Physical damage reduction reduces the damage you take by hits by 1. That's huge. That's freaking huge. So if you get hit, you reduce the damage you take by 1. But just as another reminder here, physical damage reduction gets bypassed by heavy hits and beyond. So in DC20, if you're not familiar, if you get hit by an attack that exceeds your armor class by 5 or more, it's called a heavy hit and you take 1 more damage. If you exceed the armor class by 10, it's called a brutal hit and it deals 1 more damage. Every 5 you exceed your defense by, you take another 1 point of damage. The same thing happens to monsters, however big your attack roll is. That's one of the cool aspects of DC20. One of the cool rules that people do like is this. So physical damage reduction only reduces the damage from hits by 1. Anything else beyond that bypasses the damage reduction. The hit was too big, and that's the whole concept of bypassing armor, because you just got absolutely rocked by that hit. Cool. And the only other thing with heavy armor is while wearing heavy armor, you have disadvantage on agility checks. You're a bit too big, clunky. You're not going to be able to be as sneaky, as trickery, as stealthy, as acrobatics, all that kind of stuff. Any sort of agility check is a disadvantage, and that should feel familiar, right? So there's heavy armor. Pros and cons. Is it stronger, more defensive? Yeah, it's got 1 physical damage reduction. It's pretty solid right there. And it gets better. You'll see in here in a second. So here's the armor table to make that very, very clear and simple. Unarmored, armor bonus. If you're not wearing the armor, you have no bonus. You have no physical damage reduction. Your agility bonus, to get you familiar with this table of what this looks like, agility bonus is how much of your agility are you allowed to add. And you might see some foreshadowing there with some of these other things that are going to come up here in a second. And unlimited just means whatever your agility is, you can add that. Done. Super simple. Agility disadvantage means, do you have a disadvantage on your agility checks? No, I don't. No, I don't. I have disadvantage on agility checks. There you go. That's super simple. And might requirement, there's obviously not a might requirement for unarmored or this. There's only a might requirement for that. And you see where everything comes in. Light armor and heavy armor both have 1 armor bonus, which is physical, PD, your physical defense, and heavy armor has 1 physical damage reduction. There you go. Now, armor modifications. This is where the system really starts to shine and what I'm the most excited to show you guys. So, light armor modifications. There are optional bonuses you can take to modify your armor. There are also optional penalties you can take on in order to gain these bonuses. You'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. And also, as this, you can see it on the screen, but this is also gets across kind of the nuances of I want to wear light armor, but I want to have it to have little bits of metal on there. I want to have like shoulder guards. I want to have like a helmet. I want to have, how do you want to describe it? You can modify your armor with 3 modifications. There's 3 modifications for light armor and 3 modifications for heavy armor. We're going to focus on light armor first though. So you could gain more defense. You could gain more physical defense. You could have an option to gain a certain type of modification on your armor and increase your PD by 1. You also can increase your physical damage reduction by 1, which is more like heavy armor. So if you really only have access to light armor, but you really want to modify it and strap on some bits of metal in there and you really try and get some more defense on there, it's going to come with some negative side effects, but you're just going to feel a little bit more like heavy armor. It's not going to be as good as heavy armor, but it's going to feel a little bit it's going to take a step in that direction. And then the optional penalties, this is a big concept I want to make sure everybody's on the same page of. Max Prime -2. If you see max prime of -2, it's going to be in the agility bonus. And just like we're familiar with in D&D, some armors have a cap on how much of your dexterity you can add. It'll say like max of 2. This is DC20's max of 2, but it actually scales because your prime is 3. Your prime attribute at level 1 is 3. And then it goes to 4, 5, 6, 7 as you level up. So back to level 1, because that's really all we care about right now. It just to explain the concept. So your prime is 3. So if you see a restriction, a penalty on an armor that says max prime of -2, that means that the most you can add, if you have unlimited, you can add your agility. So if your agility is 3, you can add 3 if you have an agility of 3. But if it has a restriction, a cap of -2 to your prime, if your prime's 3, -2 is 1, you now have a cap and you can only add 1 agility to that armor because you're loading yourself up with all these modifications, right? So you can't, even if your agility's 3, you can't add 3 to that armor because it's more cumbersome, it's more bulky, it's been modified in that type of direction. You get the idea. And then armors can also gain a penalty of disadvantage on agility checks, which makes it more like heavy armor. Because if you remember from a second ago up here, heavy armor, while wearing heavy armor, you have disadvantage on agility checks. And on light armor, you can do the same thing. So here is that table in beautiful view right here. You can take armor. The standard armor has no bonuses, no physical damage reduction, no modification. It's just standard. It's the most basic. This is if you want to start the game off, give me some light armor. I don't care about modifications. Let's roll. And you're done. You don't gain any sort of bonuses, no penalties, straight up. That's what standard is. Padding, though, you can go to a blacksmith, you can go to a leather worker, you can go to an NPC shopkeeper, and they can do padding. They can add padding to your armor. And this is also cool because you can modify your armor. If you have your favorite piece of armor or you find a new piece of armor, you can modify it. You can add padding to it. You find armor in the game that you got as a reward, and you can go modify it in really cool ways, which also adds to an expansion in the game for crafting things and armor and making armors of other types of, that's a whole nother thing. But anyway, you can see some hints of this here. Padding, you gain +1 to your physical defense. The armor bonus goes up by 1. But it adds that cap to prime. You cannot go higher than prime -2, right? You'll see why this is absolutely huge and brilliant here in a second. Chainmail, you can gain 1 physical defense, 1 armor bonus, right? It does not restrict your agility, but it does give you disadvantage on agility checks. So chainmail, this is like you're wearing some chainmail underneath the armor. You're going to make it a little bit more clunky. You're going to have the disadvantage on agility checks now. You're going to make some more noise and you're not going to be as stealthy or whatever, however you're wanting to flavor it based on however you want to flavor your armor. So there's another thing. So it comes with a bonus and a penalty, a bonus and a penalty every single time. Breastplate, if you want to throw in a breastplate, armor bonus doesn't go up, but now we gain some physical damage reduction. It's the only way that light armor can gain physical damage reduction is this. You put on a breastplate, and it's also going to reduce the maximum of prime -2. So what's the point? What's the point of this? Why is this so cool? Why is this so good? Here's the thing. There's been a concern raised by some people and in general of agility being king. In D&D, dexterity is king. It's the god stat. It's initiative. It's dexterity saving throws. It's armor class. Oh my gosh, right? So I don't want that to be the case in DC20. I want all the attributes to be balanced as all things should be. So what this does is this puts a soft nerf, a soft cap, you could say, on agility. Yes, you could add agility, and here's where I'm getting to here, is different levels of agility. We're going to hypothetically build some characters out here using this system. Ignore the table here for a second. If you have 3 agility, this is a character that has 3 agility. So let's work like we have a character with 3 agility. Your physical defense is 13. You probably wouldn't take padding because it would reduce your prime by 2, and you wouldn't even be able to add your 3. You know what I'm saying? If you have a 3 in agility, you wouldn't even be able to add all 3 to your armor, because if the max prime of -2 would bring you down to a cap of 1, so your physical defense would be 11, because the formula is 8 plus 1 for your combat mastery, which is 9 plus 1 for the armor. So 8 plus 1 plus 1. Your base armor is basically 10 plus your agility. So 10 plus agility. If you have your prime is reduced down and now it's only 1, if you put this modification on your armor, it would be, oh, dang, it's only 1 now. Oh, but I'd gain this. And so it's this weird thing for someone with high agility. padding is not that appealing to a high agility character, because they have such high agility. They don't want to reduce their maximum that they can add to agility. They want to keep it the same, right? The cool part though is chainmail is option for everybody. Anyone at any point that wants to wear light armor, if they want to take the penalty of a disadvantage on all agility checks, then they get +1 of their armor bonus. You can make that choice anyway. This high agility person could do that as well, right? Now, let's expand this out. What if I had 2 agility? All right, if I had 2 agility, I would have 12 physical defense. Okay, cool, no big deal. But here's where some cool things start to happen. If you have 1 agility, if you create a character with 1 agility, I don't want to max agility because I don't want people to feel like they have to max agility. Like that's like, oh, every character, every wizard, every whoever has to max agility. I don't want that to be the case. And here's how we fix that is if you have 1 agility, you have not maxed your agility. 3 is the max at level 1. You have 1 agility, but wait, if you only have 1 agility, the max of prime -2, the maximum cap for your agility is 1, which you're at the cap of. So let me see if this makes sense. So your prime is 3. If you take on this agility bonus, this penalty right here of max of prime, you now are only allowed to add -2. So 3 - 2 is 1. What this basically says is I can only add 1 from agility. But if you already have an agility of 1, all you can add is 1. So this penalty doesn't even affect you, which is brilliant and on purpose. That's why it's there. So now a character with only 1 agility doesn't care about this penalty of this reduction of I can only add a maximum of 1 because they are 1. And so what do they get? They get a +1 to the physical defense for free, technically, right? So if you have 1 agility, you can add padding modification for free. And that basically means for the entire scaling of the game, if your agility is ever 2 lower than your prime, you can do this for free. And in the same thing here, if your agility is 2 below prime, you can do this for free. That's crazy. You could have an agility, you could have a defense of 11 and add this if you wanted to as well. You could add breastplate at that point, right? So you get the idea. And then now, 0 agility, you can do it again. You can add this padding armor and you maybe even want to sacrifice. You could sacrifice 1 physical defense, add on this. And if you have -1 agility, you get both for free. You can get padding and breastplate technically for free because you're already at -1 agility. Prime of 3 -4, because yes, these do stack if you can combine these. These are all modular as well. You can do padding and chainmail and breastplate. You can modify your armor as much as you want. And that's what leads me to this table. This table shows you the 3 baseline modifications in blue. In yellow is the paired pairings of each of them. It's these 2 combined together, these 2 combined together, and these 2 combined together. You get the idea, right? So padding and chain gets you this stat line. Chainmail and breastplate gets you this. And you can see how things combine. And as you notice, max prime of -4, it's combining, right? You can have padding and chain get you a max of -2, and you have disadvantage on checks, but ooh baby, you get +2 to your armor bonus, and it's customizable. And if you want every single one, this is what it would look like. If you got all 3 modifications, you would have +2 armor bonus, +1 physical damage reduction. Your maximum prime would be -4. So if your prime, let's just say you hit level 5, you hit level 5, you're at level 5 now, your prime is 4. 4 - 4 is 0. So the most you could add is 0, right? So characters with agility might not want to do all of this because then they couldn't add that agility because you're lowering how much agility you can add to it, if that makes sense. So that's the big picture with light armor. And this alone, this light armor addition alone is huge for the quality of the game, for the presence of agility, of how strong agility is, fixing that, and actually giving choices. Another big thing I haven't said yet is this gives choice, actual true choice to the game of whenever you're making armors, and you can choose between armors. Do I want to have a disadvantage on or you know what? Maybe I have 2 different sets of armor. Maybe I have armor in our stronghold and we have a stronghold back at town and I can switch out armor. We're about to go on a stealth mission. No, you know what? I'm going to go on a stealth mission. I don't want my chainmail for my stealth mission, right? I don't want to do that. I'm going to do breastplate and padding for, okay, yeah. Or you know what? I want to set, you get the idea, right? So anyway, there's light armor. Moving on to heavy armor, similar type concept. You have optional bonuses of physical defense, physical damage reduction, and you also have a bonus for heavy armor to make it more like light armor by removing those that disadvantage on agility checks. If you want to play as y'all can see, if you want to play a light armor character and take one step towards heavy armor, you can. If you want to play a heavy armor character and take one step towards light armor, you can. And that's purposely built on purpose. And how the math of it works is if you take light armor and really like dump agility and try and go heavy, and then compared to a heavy armor character that dumps agility and tries to go light, you actually get to touch in the center and they become very, very similar, and that the two systems actually meet in the middle in a really cool way. So anyway, optional penalties, same thing, max prime and -2. But here's where the interesting one is. Heavy armor has an optional penalty of -1 speed to gain 1 physical damage reduction. Who's going to take it? I don't know. Honestly, leave a comment right now. Would you take this? So check out these. These are the 3 options for heavy armor. You get flex plate. Flex plate is your heavy armor light option. Flex plate does not give you any armor bonus. No more physical defense. It gives you no physical damage reduction. Oh my gosh, it doesn't give me any defense. What's the point? It's flex plate, baby. It's the light on your toes, heavy armor, but you're mobile. You're going on that stealth mission. You get the idea, right? You have the penalty of the prime reduction, so it's going to limit how much agility you're able to add, right? So if you maxed agility, you probably aren't going to pick this. And you can remove the disadvantage on agility checks and remove the might requirement. Ooh, interesting. So now at character creation, you can have a flex plate and you don't have to pump might as well. That's another thing, is if you made a character that you wanted to do heavy armor, I have to do one. Well, actually, if you want to do flex plates, you have options here, right? So anyway, that's another option. Joint reinforcement is, yes, joint reinforcement is the 1 physical defense at the cost, and this is the same thing like the one in that happened in the light armor, is the maximum prime of -2. So if your agility is maxed out, you don't want joint reinforcement, because if your agility is 3 or at the maximum, you would be losing 2 to gain 1. You would never do that, right? So that's the whole point. It's the same benefits there. I'm not going to go into that again because it's the same thing, same concept as the light armor version, right? Chest reinforcement. This is the different one. This is the crazy one for heavy armor. I want to see what people pick this. You gain 1 physical damage reduction. Also, big thing. Keep in mind, all heavy armor at baseline. All heavy armor has 1 physical damage reduction. All of them at baseline. So this would bring you to 2 physical defense and 2 physical damage reduction. 2 physical damage reduction is a pretty big deal, especially in the lower levels where you're only getting your hits. Enemies are hitting for 1 and 2 damage, and that's kind of what they maximally do. You're not going to see a lot of enemies at level 1 hitting for 3 damage baseline, right? Or at least you shouldn't, just for the record, Dungeon Masters. So this one does not hurt your agility, doesn't mess with your checks, but it takes your speed down by 1. Is it worth it? That's for you to decide. I think it's a genuinely interesting choice. Genuinely interesting choice. I also think this would be a genuinely interesting choice to have armor outfitted. Maybe you want to go on a mission and you want to go to the blacksmith and give him your armor. We're about to go to a thing and I'm just going to be kind of sitting there. You can outfit it and then you can go back to the blacksmith after this mission, have him modify it again. This is another way for the record, Game Masters, of gold. It's going to cost gold to be able to have this blacksmith do these things and tinker with armor like this. And it's another way for your characters to get excited about gold and spending gold consistently or continuously on the new armors and items that they get. So there you go. And then the same thing's true here for the different levels of agility. And then as you keep going up at 1 agility, you start to be able to add some stuff for free. At -1 agility, you can do all of that for free. You can take away the disadvantage on your agility checks for free and gain +1 defense for free, technically, right? And that's the same concept here of this maximum primes. Basically, if your agility is already low, you don't care about reducing the cap of how much agility you can add because you don't even have that much agility. So if you're reducing the cap of how much agility you can have, it doesn't even affect you, which is on purpose, and that's the cool part, and a little bit of the balance towards agility and stuff. And here's the final little table there for armor modifications of how all of the 3 in blue are the 3 options for modular, the 3 modular options that you can take and use and combine. You can do one, You can do pairs of 2, or you can do them all, and you get the idea. The yellow is the combination of the 2 pairings, and the purple is all of them, baby. So that is huge for armor. There's one more thing to really take this thing out of the park and knock it out of the park is health. So where all the attributes are at right now, agility is a little bit high, so this is going to bring it down just a little bit, and I think in a great way. But then might used to be all this stuff, and it might be started to get too strong, and some adjustments have been made, and I want to give might a little bit more love. And I think this adjustment does 2 great things. So the new formula for health, the current I guess old formula for health, which is the current formula for health, is a base of 5 plus 2 times your character level plus your might. 5 plus 2 times your character level plus your might. So basically, every time you level up, you gain 2 health, right? And that is a lot of scaling, especially whenever the game starts off with such low numbers. Adding 2 health every level, that might not sound like a lot, but in a game that has low numbers already, and you have baseline damage and heavy hits and brutal hits only add 1 more damage, it starts to become a problem. And it's been something I've had my eye on for 6 months or longer at this point, of not having the health be so high. I think it is better for the quality of the game for the health to be lower. So the new health formula for the game, which I think also buffs might, because health is going to, I'll just tell you, the new formula for the game, instead of a base of 5, it's now a base of 6. So that's a +1. Everyone gets a +1 more health across the board. Yay! But you now only add your character level, not 2 times your character level. It is going to be 6 plus character level. So, plus might, right? So instead of 5 plus 2 times your character level, which at level 1, 2 times your character level is 2. And I really now don't have to say that anymore. You just get to add your level. It's more intuitive, easier to do, faster. And every time you level up, 1 hit point. You get the idea. So instead of 5 plus 2 to get a base of 7 plus might, now it's a base of 6 plus 1 to still have 7 plus might. So at level 1, it's unchanged on purpose. At level 1, it's unchanged. Nothing's changed. The base is 7. But now it comes from a 6 plus 1 instead of a 5 plus 2. You get the idea. So base of 6 plus your level plus might. Now might is more prevalent. Now might has a bigger role to play. Every time you add a might, that's like you just leveled up. Oh my gosh. If you add 1 might, it's almost like you leveled up. That's crazy. And it adds some more diversity across characters, and all their health is going to be different. And it gives us a chance, if this does take health too low, right? Oh no, let's say in the future we see like, oh no, health is a bit too low, right? Because we nerfed it by half, right? And again, don't take this as a nerf, because this is not a nerf. This is just a scaling situation. So now this is a better quality of life for the game. We don't have to artificially scale and ramp up damage, and monsters are hitting for way harder, and players are hitting for crazy amounts, and everything's just starting to get too big and inflated. It's now going to be a lot more smooth as far as we level up and stuff like that. So I think it's going to be a better quality of the game fix too. But if we do need to buff up health, we could obviously adjust the base of 6. I don't think that's going to be the case though, because I think the health is perfect at level 1. So we're going to leave that the same. 1 times your character level, it's just your character's level, cool. And then your might, that's going to stay the same. Class bonuses. In every single class has a class health bonus table. We can mess with that and have classes be a bit more unique and diverse as far as how much health and when they get health, and giving them more health and more. Like maybe a barbarian gets 2 health at level 1. Maybe you get the idea, right? So we can play around with the health in the class tables if we ever need to. So there is the big picture. I'm super excited for this. I'm super excited for y'all to play this. If you want to play this, you can check out the link in the description for the alpha. It's going to be alpha 0.6.1, which is the newest update from the 0.6, which already was big. This armor update, I had to get to you guys as quick as possible. The next update is now going to be subclasses and some other rules that will probably make their way and slip through the cracks as well, but mainly subclasses. So there we go. Ooh, big and exciting stuff. Stay creative. Think outside the box. Peace. Whew. We did it. So now, I have no idea what just happened in the chat. So, I want to see the overall feedback. I'm going to start a poll. Armor update feedback. We're gonna rating. We're gonna say armor update rating is what it's gonna be. Armor update rating. 7 plus. It's going to be, the middle is going to be like a 4 to 6, 3 and lower, right? What is the rating? 7+ is like, oh wow, all right, yeah, no, I like that. I like a lot of the stuff there. I am more excited than not for what you just said and all the things that just was thrown down, because I know I just threw down a lot. Whoo, baby, I threw down a lot. 4 through 6 is I'm unsure. I'm gonna need to play test it. I don't know. 4 through 6, I'm teetering in the middle. I don't know. I might like it better the old way. I might like it better the new way, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Keep in mind, with the old way, if you're not familiar with the old way, agility really did become something you have to kind of do. And if you're a wizard and you want to put points in different places, you probably should put 3 points in agility. And if you were to take, in the old system before this armor rework, if you were to take every character in the game, agility would probably be the most dominant maxed out stat. Because as you level up as well, you're going to be able to put points into other places. I see someone probably having agility and one other as like the main 2 that they pump, and I think that's bland and the same, and I don't want that option. I want options. If you don't want to have to feel forced to max agility, I gotta do agility because that's my physical defense, oh man, if you don't want to do that and you want to role play better, have more intelligence and more skills, to be more of a skill monkey, have higher charisma or grit points, have more health, etc., I want you to be able to do that, right? So here's the update. There's the poll. 7 and above is you're excited. Let's go. I want to see it. I want to play it. Whoo. 4 through 6 is I don't know. I still want to think about it. I'm going to need to play it. I'm going to need to see what's going on here. And then 3 and lower is like, oh man, grumble. I don't like that. But I want to see all of that. And why is this not working? Why my chat's gone now? My chat is gone. I can't see anything. What happened? I'm gonna delete this, and maybe it pops up over here. Did y'all see it? Did y'all see the weird? Okay, I guess I talked for too long. Okay, armor system rating, 7+, 7+, 4 to 6, 4 to 6, and 3 and lower. Right, there we go. Start poll. Come on, poll. There we go. There's the poll. Man, that was weird. So I want to see what we're at. I want to see where we're at, because I could have just left it alone. Just leave it alone and call it a day. And agility is really high. Cool. We are voting. Okay, cool. All right, yeah. So I'm glad to see that there's not a lot of 3 and lowers. We're over 50% positive, so I'll take that. And then the rest of everybody else is in that middle. I don't know, right? So yeah, you're gonna do, I guess, class half wizard fighter. John Zambrano. We actually talked about that earlier in the stream. Spellblade is on the docket for a class that is going to exist. Yes. And I have some hot takes about that, which we're not going to bundle into this stream because that's going to be wild and crazy. So, oh yeah, show them the spreadsheet. Okay, so Eddie made up this spreadsheet. Let me see if I can put it up here. It's probably the best way if I could just get it. Oh, there we go. That's great. So let me pull up the spreadsheet. This is basically what it looks like. For if y'all can't. Oh gosh, let me zoom in a little bit. We'll zoom in a little bit here. All right, there we go. All right, so this is what it looks like as far as to make it simple is this is the light armor and this is the standard light armor. If you're like, I don't want any modifications. And also for the record, if you play the game without any modifications, it's the same. So anybody that's in that 4 to 6, I don't know, keep in mind this change technically isn't even a change, because if you do nothing and if you don't, the only thing I'm adding are modifications to armor. That's the only thing that's different, really, is the modifications to armor. So if you don't do any modifications to armor, then there's no difference, right? Just for the record as well. So keep that in mind too. Which it'd be an interesting take to do on this is if I wanted to say that the variant rule is armor modification, but I don't know. It could be an advanced rule because it is a bit more complicated and it is more crunchy than the general foundation of DC20. Which that's another interesting point there. But this is a cap is power gaming slide of agility, which is good. Yep. It's the power gaming of agility is just a bit overtuned. Yeah, you get the idea. So if you have this is a 3 agility character, a 2 agility character, 1, 0, -1, -2. So it gives some love to the lower agility characters specifically in this area over here, right? So if you have max agility, you don't really want to have a padding or anything else to slow you down. You still could do chainmail, but then you'd have disadvantage on agility checks, right? So this is the concept, and this is the bold ones are kind of the armor you'd probably want to have. But anyway, there you go. If it's optional, it's a 9. Oh, interesting. You know what, y'all? I'm going to do another vote. We have 181 people here. This is insane. Okay, so I'm going to do another vote. I want to see. This is the time to freaking give some feedback, y'all. And I'm about to blow your goddamn minds here in a second. So we're going to do this vote real quick on this one. And then I'm going to do another thing to maybe blow your minds. And this is the only time I'll probably ever say it. So this is the only time you might even hear this ever. So buckle up. Anyway, should this armor rework be a optional rule, variant, etc. Right? And that's gonna be simple yes or no. Yes. No. I think that's very interesting, especially with the feedback that was there. Should it be an optional rule? I'm interested. Oof, we're split on this one. Oh, only 13. We don't have 13 likes. We have 75 likes. Y'all are freaking killing it right now. Y'all are awesome, right? So let me see. First of all, I want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats. Did I miss any super chats? Live chats, top chats, fan. Okay, there we go. Spellblade. Oh, Joe M, team member, welcome Joe M. Late fee and return afterwards. And Joe M did a super chat for Bug. How sweet is that? And then Liam says, will we also be able to mod our weapons like we could in Alcander's example, changing a slashing weapon to a bludgeoning weapon? Yeah. So I think weapons are in a great spot right now for DC20 as far as the baseline weapons. So I don't see any modifications being done to weapons at the baseline level. Could there be a combat expansion that adds more crunch to weapons? 100%. Is there going to be a crafting system for sure that's already slated to be released that's going to modify weapons in cool ways? 100%. So that's going to be taken care of. So no worries there. But yeah, so anyway, now we're back to the chats. No. All right. Yeah. So no, it should not be a variant rule. It should be the core rule there. I see it. All right. Wow. I love it. This is great, y'all. This is freaking great. I love this. Anyway. All right. So everything's optional at your home table. Very true, Crackaday. Very true, Crackaday. All right. So now here comes the mind blowing part. Here comes the part that might just blow y'all's minds. So freaking buckle up. There is another proposal that I have for armor. Me and the team have spent a long time. And when I say long time, I mean hours for the last long time. Okay. Separately working on individual proposals of armor, different things for armor. Armor has been a huge thing. Y'all just saw the proposal of the armor that's going to go out in the 0.6.1. This thoughts of armor. Let me pull it up because I got to make sure that I don't freaking lose track here. Right. All right. Okay. Yep. I'm gonna put it up on the screen. All right. So actually, wait, might's removed from. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna throw it all up on the screen all at once. So what I'm about to show you guys, right, might never be seen the light of day again. What I'm about to show you guys is a potential new armor system for DC20. I know I just talked about armor. I know. This is a different possibility. This is a different solution to what I just proposed, right? So keep this in mind. This is completely separate. So everybody take your minds, everything you just heard, take that, set it over here. Fresh mind, new thought. We're outside the box, y'all. And I'm going to talk to you about a potential different way. This would be considered an armor overhaul, right? So buckle up. I want to see what's going on. I'm going to pitch you the whole thing. This is not going to turn into a video in any way, shape, or form. This is just for you guys right now and to vote on to see. And this is a big one. I'll tell you this. Really think about this. I'm going to share some implications. Then we're going to vote, and we're going to do the same exact vote. 7, 4 through 6, or no. And it's basically a, ooh, that excites me. Oh, I don't know about that. And no. Oh, gosh, please don't do that. You know what I'm saying? So here we go. I gotta pitch it and then I'll say it. So what if there were 3 defenses? What if there were 3 defenses? And what if each of the 4 attributes played into those 3 defenses? Currently in the game, might, agility, intelligence, charisma. Currently, agility goes to physical defense. Agility plays into physical defense, right? In fact, let me pull this up, right? Agility goes to physical defense. Intelligence and charisma, mental defense. Those are obvious. Those are intuitive. That's a given, of course. Health is a bit of an outlier. It doesn't have a defense, but it does have health. And let's get real, y'all. Health is health, right? Like it is a defense kind of, right? Health is almost the best defense, right? You see what I'm saying? Health protects you from falling damage, protects you from being thrown into a wall, protects you from being poisoned, protects you from being caught on fire, protects you from lots of stuff. It's what you need to live, right? So health is tied to might right now, right? Health tied to might. It's not tied to a defense, right? So we have physical defense and we have mental and intelligence and charisma is mental defense. The third defense, first of all, I need to say this. If this is the case, before I say what the third defense would be, if we do 3 defenses, might would gain a defense, but it would no longer be tied to health. Might would no longer be tied to health. That is one thing you have to take in mind with everything I'm about to say. One big change might would no longer be tied to health, right? So if might's no longer tied to health, we'd have to do some adjustments. And like I said a second ago in the overhaul I just talked about, we'd have to add health to possibly ancestries. We'd have to add health to classes for sure. We'd have to add health to classes. And maybe the baseline of the game, and maybe we'd have to revert the 2 times character level, and it would go back to 2 times character level instead of just 1. But I do want to keep the health numbers lower, so it probably wouldn't be that. I do like the scaling of 1 per level, just for the record. But might would be taken out of health. There's some negatives that do come with that, but I'll talk about that in a second, right? So now back to the 4 attributes. The 4 attributes would lead to be. The 4 attributes would get you 3 defenses. Here are the 3 defenses. Mental defense would be intelligence, charisma, mental defense. It still would be all of these defenses for the record. All of them are a base of 8 plus your combat mastery. All of them. Let's just get that out of the way. All of them are base of 8 plus your combat mastery. Cool. The 3 defenses would be mental defense, charisma, and intelligence. Physical defense, which is agility, and elemental defense, which is might. Currently in the game, physical defense takes on the shoulders of every damage type in the game, technically. Slashing, bludgeoning, piercing, force damage, fire, cold, lightning, poison, acid, right? Whoa, all of them. Except for the mental defense ones of psychic, psychic, sonic, holy, unholy. Those 4 and those 4 only are mental defense. Everything else is physical defense, which honestly, in lots of ways, for lots of reasons, I am fine with that. I do think that's okay for the game, for most of them to target your physical defense. So most things that you see target physical defense, right? I'm okay with that. We'll talk about this in a second. But what this change would be is mental defense still would be these 4, psychic, sonic, holy, unholy. Elemental defense would take on the elements: fire, cold, lightning, acid, poison. That would be your elemental defense. And it does make sense from a thematic standpoint that it's might based, because if you're engulfed with flames, or you're shocked with lightning, or frigid cold, or poisons eroding you, poisons like eating you out from the inside, or it's got into a cut or wound, you're poisoned, or you're burning, might is what's going to get you through that. I do think that's kind of sick. I do think that's kind of cool. I see it. I see it. Trust me, right? Trust me. I see it. And then also PHRX says Sonic is mental. In this situation, if we did have elemental defense, I could absolutely see Sonic being moved over to that. I do see that that's maybe a little bit of a nuanced situation right there. Okay, so careful in general. Anyway, but now the defenses would be physical defense for bludgeoning, piercing, slashing, and maybe force, depending. And there's that. Which, I mean, bludgeoning, piercing, slashing is the most popular 3 in the game for sure, right? So that's probably like 50% of things is going to be that. Elemental defense, which would be based on might, is the ones I just said, and then mental defense is based on the psychic, holy, unholy, right? And Sonic or whatever, maybe. So there's 3 defenses. Now the big picture before we do this vote, because I cannot, in good faith, pull the trigger on this vote right now, because no offense, y'all have not thought about this for months like I have, or extensively for the last few days constantly. So the things to keep in mind before we vote is everyone knows what the current system is. 2 defenses is real nice. Not gonna lie. 2 defenses is better than 3 defenses. Just for crunch, just for how many things are on a character sheet, having physical defense, elemental defense, and mental defense, heavy, or that would be the defense, and then you'd have heavies for each of them and brutals for each of them and damage reductions for each of them. There would also now be physical damage reduction, elemental damage reduction, and mental damage reduction. And then heavy armor, instead of just being able to say heavy armor has physical damage reduction, you would have to say heavy armor has physical damage reduction and mental damage reduction. You see what I'm saying? So, because another thing I want to make sure is clear. In fact, let me show you this the spreadsheet here, right? It would be your physical defense is agility and armor. Your elemental defense is might and armor, right? So you add your armor to your physical defense and you add your armor to your elemental defense, right? So you add armor to both of these, but you do not add armor to mental defense, obviously, right? So that's where all the balance comes in. And if you crunch the numbers, the balance is all here already for this. Okay. But with health taken out of the picture, there we go. So the couple of issues, the 2 big issues that I want to make sure is very clear before y'all make this vote, because this is a huge deal. This would be a very big overhaul. Is the 2 things I'm worried about is 1, might being taken away from health. I don't like that in general, because now it absolutely washes everyone's health together and everyone's pretty much going to have the same health. You have no more knobs for health. Health would literally be the base plus your level, which you have no control over either of those. Everyone would have the same base. Everyone's the same level within the party, usually, right? And then it would be your class. And if you're a marshal, you're probably gonna have the exact same health as every other marshal. If you're a spellcaster, you're probably gonna have the exact same health as every spellcaster. That would be a little bit more nuanced over time as different classes gain different benefits. And then your ancestry in general may or may not add hit points if you choose for it to do so, right? So there's that as well. And then that's one thing that I in general don't like. You cannot choose through character creation and choose to put points into might to have more health for your character. So if you're a warlock that uses health to cast spells, if you're a sorcerer that wants to use health to hurt yourself to do stuff, if you are a College of Swords bard that wants to be in the front lines more, you are a Gish type class and want to be up in the front lines and have more health, you cannot build for having more health. You would have to spend a talent to gain more health, right? That feels bad. I like being able to put points into might and gain health, right? So there's that. And then the other thing that worries me is 3 defenses. If you have 3 defenses, that's 3 defenses on a character sheet, 3 heavies, 3 brutals, 3 elemental damage, or 3 different types of damage resistance. And if you have heavy armor now has to say it gives you +1 physical damage reduction and +1 elemental damage reduction. It has to give you both of them because those are the ones that pertain to armor. So I worry about those things, right? So I worry about the extraness or the complexity and the leveling off of HP and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to now throw out the vote. I'm going to throw out the vote is 3 defense overhaul. 7+ is I am excited for it. 4 through 6 is I don't know. Yeah, it's just I don't know. And then the last one is 3 3 or lower is I'm nervous or confused. Is that one. Here we go. Oh, all right. So let me make sure. I just saw the super chat in some way, and I want to read all this stuff. As someone who homebrewed a monster stat block, I really hate that idea. The clutter in the sheet would be too much for me. It also makes some crunch for encounters more ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, the part that is a great point there too is creating a monster. You now have another number to have to come up with, and another thing to think about. I think it would be cool to have a fire elemental. Man, a fire elemental's elemental defense would be a ton. And that would be, I guess, cool to have that lever to change, but I think you can already do that in some other ways in DC20 absolutely fine. I'm more comfortable with that too. So yeah, cool. I see that. I really want to keep looking at the rest of these comments here. Thematically makes sense. No mind health anymore. Food is food. What? Water is water. Health is a delaying tactic. I like the health thing. Oh, that was too long ago. Oh, there we go. Now we're at the spot. Elemental defense based on might. Physical becomes agility. Well, physical already is agility. Uncharted territory. Overhaul made for 5e. Love the idea. When players didn't ultimately scrapped it. Variant rule. I don't know if this could be a variant rule. Honestly, I don't know if it could be a variant rule. It's so out there, and it's so against the current system. It's too much to be a variant rule, honestly. I see the appeal, but the cuff I like is more the original system more. A few of us here. Hey, I have a haha. Well, a few of us here. What? This should be an optional rule at best. Might play a bigger defense, but I think it is. Yeah, great. Better for mental load, not better objectively. Why not make elemental defense linked to charisma, mental to intelligence? Elemental defense, charisma. Well, that's a whole. Now we're so either way. It's more so I'm worried about not the pairings as much as I am the 3 defenses. Just not sure if it add anything more to the current system. Yeah, that's Al Murray as that's a very good assessment there, and I think that's a good poll to end on right there, or a good poll to snapshot right there. 4 defenses and turn charisma into a social defense. That's funny. HP. So I don't know if it would add anything to the current system, and that's honestly where I didn't want to share too much of what my thoughts were, because I wanted to make sure I paint the picture and give you all the warnings and heads up, but I didn't want to share my straight up stance. I want the current system. I think the current system is the best, especially with that armor overhaul that we just talked about, and the health and the adjustments of stuff. I am so excited for that armor overhaul I just talked about. You can probably see it in my description, and the health adjustment. I am so excited for both of those. So excited. 3 defenses and taking away health and all these things. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's what makes me nervous about it. So yeah. It makes the vulnerable resist, expand MD to PD if it's too. Yeah. And I'm also absolutely not worried about PD. I am not worried in the slightest about PD having as many damage defenses as it does. I think just the last thing I'll say on this is physical damage. So many damage types targeting physical defense, I think is good, because most of the things that you're going to encounter is that. So you can prepare for it. You can choose to have a high amount or a medium amount, but then that's the one you know is coming. But mental defense is a bit more unique. It's a bit more situational, a bit more scary potentially, especially if you don't prepare yourself for it or have a low amount of it, or you're a tank that doesn't have a lot, or you just really charisma or agility, charisma or intelligence were your dump stats. You're gonna be a little bit more scared from all that mental defense stuff. So anyway, yeah. So I'm very excited for the next one, or for that update. How long will the Kickstarter run? 28 days, 27 days. It starts on June 4th and ends the last day of June. So yeah. But yeah, I think we're in a pretty good spot. Focused on getting enjoy engine rebuilding. Yeah, exactly. And I really wanted to make sure that any sort of, like, we went down the rabbit hole of armor, and once we went down the rabbit hole of armor, the system I just proposed at the beginning of the video, which is the direction we're going, it led to a bunch of different, like, what if we did armor this way? What if this way? What if this way? What if we had armor that targeted a single target armor, and then AoE armor, and then mental armor, and all these other things? There's lots of different ways, and trust me, myself, the team, lots of people had a bunch of different proposals for armor and where it could possibly go. And either way, all of those directions have led, even if they led to dead ends that we didn't end up going with, it has made the current system stronger, as you just saw in the presentation I just gave. But yeah. So that is the big picture. That is where everything's at. And that was a longer stream. We went into overtime with that one. Just come back a tiny bit. Yeah. We're way outside the box. But I'm glad to present that to you guys and see where else all y'all's heads were. So anyway, I know it's a bit different of a stream. Whew. I gotta do some water. Bit different of a stream, big throwdown, lots of stuff. And I got a little sneak peek into some of the behind the scenes stuff of things worked on behind the scenes that aren't going to see the light of day. And I was right when I said that. No, only people that watched this live stream saw a potential direction that DC20 almost could have gone in the direction of. We're not going to go there, though. I think I absolutely have fallen in love with, as many of you guys have, with the current system. So heck yeah. Will we get more armor mods in the future updates? Yeah. So the cool thing about armor mods is there's only going to be 3 in the core game. The 3 for light armor, the 3 for heavy armor, right? So 3 each. But the really cool thing about the foundation of that is it can be built upon. So whenever we do things like either expansions or magic items or crafting systems that add new ways to add armor. So if you make armor with dragon scales, add this modification. If you want to reinforce armor with bug carapace, add this modification. If you make armor made of pure silver, add this modification. You know what I'm saying? So you can easily do lots of stuff like that. Wolf Game, I'm currently running a D&D 5e campaign, but I'm totally hyped for DC20. Can't wait to convert it into DC20 campaign. On that note, will there be a conversion guide? If yes, then when? Wolfgang. So the conversion guide, I'll describe it like this. The conversion guide is going to be the very first thing I make once DC20 is released. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that makes sense. And I hope no one thinks that I should make it before then, because if I were to start making a conversion guide now, it'd be so much wasted time, because I'd be making a conversion guide for a game that's currently being still built, as y'all just saw, different little updates and stuff like that, right? But I will say DC20 will be D&D will be very easy to convert into DC20, because the biggest chunks of the game are already the same. You already have the social, you have social checks, the skills are very similar. Dear God, it's already similar. I bet you could do it right now. Like, honestly, you could do it right now. It might be a bit hard at higher levels, and obviously that's the biggest hard part right now. And that's why I need to focus on building out the levels first and the subclasses and letting y'all be able to get up to level 20 and all that stuff, right? And really, the other cool part about DC20 is all I really need to do is let y'all get up to level 10. And then as soon as y'all can get to level 10, prestige levels 11 through 20 are already done, you know, and you just, and you can go up to level, it'll all automatically happen, right? So yeah, for sure. But there we go. So doing the giveaway before we end. I'm gonna throw down the giveaway. Say anything you want in the chat. And there's a lot of talk in this one, man. I know live streams are just all, that's me talking. That's what they are, right? But it was a lot went into this one. It was cool to reveal all this stuff to you guys. So anything you want in the chat. Thank you, Cosmic Parade. I hope you win, Cosmic Parade. Michelle, what's up, Michelle? Dreamweaver. All right. Francisco, what's up, Francisco? Anything you want. All right, so I'm giving away 1 copy of the DC20 Alpha. If you win this copy of the DC20 Alpha, message my moderators on Discord. They're the names in red. Message them. If you already have the DC20 Alpha, you can choose. You either get early access to early things as early as possible, which is a Metallic Dragon upgrade on Patreon. And on Patreon, I also just released last week my DC20 campaign, DC20 Dungeon Master binder, and lots and lots of stuff there had just dropped for DC20. And then if you already have all of that too, you also can, if you win, get instead a shopping spree on the DC20 on the DC20 website, or my website. You get the idea. So here we go. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Winner, winner. Well, we got Nightbot. You here? You awake? And the winner is, oh, Nightbot is here. Nightbot is here. The Cosmic Parade. The Cosmic Parade. Did I say I want you to win? Did I say I want you to win? What did Cosmic Parade say? Cosmic Parade said something, and it made me want you. Oh, you said exactly what I said. I said, say anything you want in the chat. And Cosmic Parade typed out, anything you want in the chat. And I said, ha, I hope you win. That's so funny. That's insane. Called it rigged. Like Nightbot can hear me. Y'all, do you think Nightbot can hear me? That's super creepy with all this AI stuff going on. Do you think he can hear me? All right. Next live stream. I'm going to do this again, but I'm going to pick somebody and I'm going to say, I hope you win. And I'm going to see if they win. So next live stream next week, we're going to try this again. Okay. And we're going to see. All right. Because I'm scared now. All right. So, Nightbot is listening. Nightbot is watching. I just got chills from that. It's so crazy. And Nightbot's usually drunk, so he's like wild. Okay. So I am going to, this time, I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to sign off silently. We'll see how this goes, just because I'm scared of Nightbot now. Okay. Okay. So